When the Mennonites in Imperial Russia first discovered in 1869 that they would lose their military service exemption and they would lose control of their schools, at that time it was simply not an option to emigrate to the Canadian prairies. First of all, there was no Manitoba at that time. Secondly, the land belonged to the indigenous sovereign peoples, and it was administered by the Hudson Bay Company, who certainly did not want settlers. However, there was also almost no way to get there. How do you get from here to there in 1869? Virtually impossible. The only way would be to get on board an ocean-going vessel in the Mediterranean and cross the Atlantic and then go into Hudson Bay and then hope to take a York boat all the way down to Winnipeg. But this takes months. And in the process, many children and most elderly people would die. Or, better case scenario, you come across the ocean and you land up in Ontario or Quebec, and you take the voyageur route through the Great Lakes, end up at Thunder Bay, and then take the notorious Dawson route. In the process, almost all the little children and the elderly die. Today, historians agree that although the loss of the military exemption and that whole big issue of landlessness, the fact that half the Mennonites in the Imperial Russia did not have land enough to farm. Although those are the two main factors, there is one additional enabling factor, and that is that it was finally possible, actually possible, to move an entire colony, a family with babes in arms, from their village over here at the Black Sea all the way to Winnipeg in complete comfort, or at least relative comfort, in just 45 days. What happened? What happened is that our migration actually coincides with a period of the most unprecedented rapid expansion in transportation technology in the history of the planet. And so it was finally possible to do it. Even though the train had been here earlier, it only got to the Black Sea in the late 1860s. And in America, to get to Winnipeg, you had to take the Dawson Trail unless you waited long enough for the Northern Pacific to finish the track to Fargo-Moorhead, Minnesota, which only happened in late 1872. And then you can jump on a paddle boat and sit while this boat takes you all the way to Fort Garry or to the Rat and the Red River Junction. This technology, this innovation was so recent that most Mennonites had never seen a locomotive until the day they boarded the train to leave their homeland forever.